Hello everyone, my name is Rosa Maria Belisario, and today we're going to talk about automation on physical and cyber warfare. Introduction. The technology of creating automated equipment has been on the table of programmers and engineers since computers were capable of computing simple arithmetic problems. They reflected a window of opportunity and advantages to the global population and its government. Then, it came into play how this technology could affect and beneficiate the warfare in order to always be one step ahead of the nation's enemies and preserve the social order. Currently, the US military and the other countries rely the majority of their monetary resources on investing in drones and unmanned vehicles and personnel that are capable of managing these while being in extreme conditions. The government wants to make the equipment smaller in size but stronger on skills, while being able to record live surroundings and monitor the movements of the adversary for training purposes. This presentation reflects some of the current uses of this technology on the battlefield and the effect of computer systems on any citizen. Furthermore, the study also mentioned the challenges and issues that derive from its consequences, as well as international laws that some may break, but that are not being reported. This video states the social and legal analysis of each area presented, and finally, the ethical and global analysis about the values that need to be considered by programmers and engineers while creating this kind of mechanism. Now, we're going to talk about drones in the Air Force. First, some facts about drones. What are drones being used for? 36% are being used for commercial photography, 14% for commercial area inspection, 12% for commercial mapping and surveying, 7% for commercial and agricultural services, 3% for commercial surveillance, and 29% for commercial filming. Where are the drones being operated? 26% are being operated on urban areas, 33% on rural areas, 60% industrial, and 23% are being operated remotely. According to the New York Times, the US military has increased considerably the use of drones against terrorist groups, which has caused a decline in the number of Air Force pilots operating aircraft. Furthermore, the people that had to agree on piloting a drone have become a target to terrorist groups. Terrorist groups claim that several drones have been used to kill civilians indiscriminately. These reasons force the Air Force to rely on private contractors to maximize the efficiency of this technology. Private contractors are being given privileges of uniformed personnel without any limitations and also double the salary of a normal military person. The issue here resembles on the lack of accountability with the contractors, because it's neither clearly nor transparent on who may be operating these drones and the intention of these people that have a critical role on sensitive matters of the government. This system gave to the US military a good rate of success on the battlefield, but is also being criticized because of the lack of transparency of its use. Now, let's talk about cyber warfare. What are cyber attacks? Cyber attacks are focused on information acquisition and network infiltration to demonstrate to the population and rival countries of the western part of the world their weaknesses. These rival countries now use digital attacks to signal one another, making a new form of political warfare. These attacks affect the population from several points of the modern everyday life, such as commerce, hospitals, and elections. The cyberspace is being used as a modern channel of psychological warfare, with the advantage, of course not for all the people involved, that it does not entail any fear of revoke. According to the futurists, a variety of agencies are considering the future use of remotely controlled robots to perform essential sensitive tasks for the state security. Unmanned vehicle weapons may lead to the decrease of human casualties, consequently the idea of sending the robots was initial invasion settings. Recalling that those robots are always going to be in directly contact with humans with the purpose of helping the humans to better prepare for future strikes. In the future, both drones and robots may be able to perform tasks such as rescuing people, collecting data, dropping bombs, distributing elemental supplies, and even reinforcing cyber warfare attacks. Human commanders might aspire unrealistic actions for their robots, such as kind of common sense and the ability of reasoning and mission of life-threatening situations. These actions are yet impossible on the current prototypes without human guidance. These are still huge disputes, since even today, with all the intense training that the people in the military face, they are constantly trying to learn these essential and subjective skills. The fact that several times humans' common sense have saved many lives on the battlefield calls the attention on the public in the manner of life safety. At the end, these military people will be forced on relying their life on robots, even if they do not want to, but the protocol will force them. Now, let's talk about unmanned aerial vehicles and modern warfare. Unmanned aerial vehicles have revolutionized modern warfare. UAVs transmit valuable enemies' real-time activity to commanders and military people in order to better prepare themselves and their troops for possible strikes. In addition, UAVs are no longer just for surveillance. The addition of missiles gave them the ability to kill. The critics come into play because these UAVs have a limited surveillance. A risky situation may be happening 1 mile away from the point where the UAV is located and it will not capture it. Recently, the US military is trying to fix the radius of surveillance problem, so they're inventing what is called the garner. It is a spherical array of 9 cameras attached to an aerial drone. The US Air Force called it Wide Area Surveillance Sensor System. Even though the garner is intended for being used as military equipment, there exist private companies that come with the resources of creating a similar UAV. Major cities may implement the garner as an efficient helper to minimize violence, but this is not the primary purpose of the garner. Some critics think that the garner should stay just on warfields. Now let's talk about the global analysis. The countries that use this technology consider the brilliant outcome of non-human casualties, and because of it, a lot of citizens think that the UAVs are the solution to all the safety problems in the world. These UAVs come with high design and security standards. They may include strong basic materials and high-caliber weapons that make them in one way the perfect equipment. In the global aspects, currently the US military counts with the highest progress on UAVs and the related technology. The US has been using this technology for more than 1 decade. Regardless of all the changes that they have made to the equipment, the basic goal remains the same: to protect the country and avoid massive casualties. They have also gained criticism on how ethically they are using the mentioned technology, because its use is not as transparent as it should be, by counting the huge monetary value that they represent on the country. The main global problem is that the malign cyber events increase, the choke on the population decreases, and it lets this disorder grow indefinitely. Now, let's talk about the ethical analysis. The use of unmanned aerial vehicles has raised ethical concerns on the population. The UAVs is a new technology that is growing every day. Sadly, it is being used more often than what is reported to the public. For some, this technology was a fiction or a kind of reality that will come true in many years. Now, it's a current reality that not all people feel comfortable with. The ethic is being compromised by what some think is the security of the nation, the international laws, and the ethical codes that all programmers and engineers are tied to. The growing distrust is associated with the lack of transparency on how it is being used and how effectively it actually is. The lack of transparency on which are the terms in which the government allows the full use of the drones and other kinds of automated equipment causes the attention of the public and critics. The UAVs, on the most part, are being piloted by private contractors that did not have the extensive military training of the pilots of the regular aircraft. Their loyalty is not with the US government, but with the company that they work for. In addition, the number of human casualties is being raised due to the short supervision that they have been under. Conclusion. In this presentation, we state a series of issues related with the use of unmanned technological and its repercussion on physical and cyber warfare. In addition, It gave an amplified view on how this technology is being used by the military and the monetary and danger costs that it globally represents. It was stated that automated technology affects on a variety of aspects of the daily life, not only in the security matter, but on almost everything that needs a computer system. Thank you very much.